Welcome back to another episode of this tutorial series where we are modeling F1 2026 concept car. Today we are focusing on the wheels. Let's get right into it. Add a new collection, rename it to wheels, and we can hide all other parts and turn on the reference. This will be an easy task because we don't have to model brakes and rims and every inside part as we have a wheel covers on Formula cars now. To start, add a new object, mesh, circle. We will have to select the number of vertices. If we take a look, we can see that we have 7 small holes inside the wheel cover. That means that the number of vertices we need can be divided by 7. I go for 21. Rotate it by 90 degrees along epsilon axis. Move it to the side, go to side view, and let's model the front wheel. Try to match the position and then switch to edit mode. Go to top view and move it to the side. Now we will extrude the main part of the rim and then we will model the wheel cover. We just extruding and scaling the part. Extrude this inside and duplicate these vertices, scale them a little bit down, move inside and extrude them again. Always just hit E to extrude, escape and scale it down. Here we will add 2 loop cuts, move it a little bit to the center and move it out to create that shape of wheel cover. We want to match it. And now we can create the inside part. Hit Shift D to duplicate the middle circle and move it to out. I just noticed I don't have screencast keys enabled, sorry for that. We can close this part. We can close the rear part and clean the wheel hub. Now select every third quad to create the wheel nut. Select also this middle part, extrude in a little bit out, select the middle part and move it out. We will switch here again, turn on the X-ray and we will insert this part. Extrude it inside, insert again, extrude it out, extrude it again, scale it down and hit Ctrl B to create this bevel. We can scale it a little bit down so it's not that big. Select this and extrude it back. Click L on the wheel nut and apply Ctrl B to all surfaces. Now let's create the holes. We need to move this out and add a new loop cut. Copy one of the circles, scale it down and move it to left, so we have it exactly in this position of this quad. We can select all these vertices and delete them, so we have less vertices to connect. Turn off the X-ray and move this to the position where it needs to be. What we are trying to do is to lay these vertices to the plane behind it. Delete this face and we will connect it. Then insert the inside face and extrude it inside. Now select this part, click P and separate selection. Go to object mode, select this wheel cover, Shift S, cursor to select it. Go back to edit mode, press L to select all vertices, go to mesh, extrude, spin, click use duplicate and select 7 because we want it 7 times. Click anywhere in the window, select everything, mesh, clean up, merge by distance. Now we need to just remove these faces. And just like this we have the base shape of the wheel cover. And now we need to make one more hole where the air ventil will be located. Select this circle, shift duplicate, move it in Y, scale it in X to 0, move it to the side, make it bigger, and again we try to match the vertices to the surface behind it. Delete these 4 faces and now connect the edges. Fill this, insert it, extrude in X, scale it to 0, just like that. And now with Ctrl J merge it with our previous object. Add modifier, generate subdivision, go to 2, go back, and we will add several loop cuts to make this nicer. We will select all of these, hit Shift A, and now we will add loop cuts to these positions where we want sharp edges. And just like that we have our wheel cover. Now go back to edit mode, select one of these loops and we will create the tire. Duplicate it and separate with pressing P selection. Rename it to tire, go to edit mode, select everything, extrude it a little bit in so we have an overlap here, and now we will be extruding the tire. Again we hit extrude, then escape and then scale it up. This top part we will move into middle of the tire. And now we will move this loop cut to create the better shape of the wheel. Select all of these, duplicate along the x-axis, rotate along z-axis by 180 degrees, move to position, rotate by x-axis by 180 degrees, select these two loops and bridge edge loops. Scale them up in the X and scale them a little bit down. Shade smooth and we have our tire. Now we will create the inside cover with air intake. So turn the subdivision off, go to edit mode, select this inside loop cut, duplicate it, press P, separate selection, rename this to inside cover. We can hide these two, select everything, extrude it, scale it down a little bit, now scale it again, and you can fill it and insert. Add a loop cut here, and now we will play with these vertices. Scale these in epsilon axis to 0, also inside, scale them to 0 and scale them into Z. Select this and hit Inset to maintain the circular area. Move this in epsilon, select all of these and extrude. Select these edges, move them epsilon, move them X, select these two and scale them in Z. Select all three, inset, extrude, move in X, scale down. We can turn on the subdivision so we can see it. And now we will add a loop cut here and loop cut inside. Shade smooth, and just like this we have the inside wheel cover. As you can see, it's two inside, so we will select it, move it out, go back to edit mode, extrude outside part again, move it in, move this part in again, and that should do the trick. Yes. Okay, now we will model the air ventil. Go back to wheel cover, turn off the subdivision, go to edit mode, select one of these circles, move it out, scale it down, extrude in x-axis, fill this by pressing F, insert, insert again, insert, extrude inside, extrude, extrude, insert, extrude, insert and extrude. Add a loop cut here, one more here, this seems nice, shade smooth, and apply this to steel. Okay, so just like this we have one tire. Now select all these pieces, go to top view, shift duplicate and move it to the back, and we will scale it to correct position. We're trying to match the middle of the wheel hub. The tire is bigger in the rear, so that's what needs to correct next. Go to top view, go to edit mode, select all of these vertices and move them inside alongside x-axis. That would be the first correction. Now turn the X-ray off, turn on our simple scene, go to object mode, select this plane and move it down so the tire barely touches it. Now go to back, select these loops and scale without the x-axis, that's pressing Shift plus X, and scale it up. Select it again and move this tire a little bit up so barely touch. We can hide the simple scene and save your work. Rename this to rear and also the front to front. Now to all of these new parts create a mirror using main body as mirror object. Save your work with Ctrl S, and last thing in this video we will create the control arms. What we will do is creating the cross sections and bridge the edge loops. Press Ctrl S and move your cursor back toward origin. Add mesh, add a new plane, move it to the front, go to edit mode and delete the half of it. Move this very close to the body, we can show it back again. Hide the wheels. And now we will create the cross section. These cross sections usually have a shape of droplet. We add a subdivision modifier so we see how it will look, and I think this is quite correct. So turn the subdivision off. Select all of these vertices, go to top view and duplicate these cross sections towards the rear. Now duplicate again and move it to the front. Do the same thing and do it one more. Scale it in the Y axis. Now we will just bridge these loops. We need to add a cut to the edge cross sections by pressing Ctrl R and adding two vertices. Now we can select all these edges and bridge edge loops. Turn on the subdivision modifier and add some loop cuts here. Select this and extrude it inside. Also select this and extrude it. We will turn on the visibility of our wheel cover. Go back to object mode. Select all these vertices and move them nicely. Now we have to rotate it a little and place to correct position. Rotate it alongside x-axis it up, so that would be the upper arm, and we also need the lower arm, so duplicate this, move it down, and also place to correct position. Turn on the X-ray, select all of these, move it inside. To top view, as you can see, it's not exactly same. We need to move this lower arm a little bit back. Basically do what you like and what do you think seems correct. Shade smooth. So this will be carbon pieces, and we will add a rubber which connects this on both ends. Select this loop cut, extrude it out, move it a little bit inside and extrude it inside, scale it up and move it to correct position so it covers this whole piece, and do this to all edges leading towards the body. Let's do this also on the opposite side. If you don't have a loop cut here, add new. Duplicate, extrude, scale, extrude in X and scale up. And also on the lower arm, duplicate, extrude, extrude in X and scale up. Add a new material slot, select rubber, select all of these pieces, and apply it to rubber. There is something wrong. I didn't make this as another loop cut, so what I will do is mark this as seam, add a loop cut here. Now I can select this and add a material. Shade smooth. Two more things we are missing in the front, and that's a push rod and steering rod. For push rod, we will add a circle, change this to 12, move it to Y, go to edit mode, rotate by X 90 degrees, scale it down, move it to the side of the body, up, and extrude towards the bottom. extrude it inside. Also on the other end, select this and extrude it inside. Select these two, move them in the front. Select these two, move them in the back. Assign material carbon fiber, add another slot, add rubber, and we will do the same thing as for arms. So select this, duplicate, extrude, scale, the same on the other end. Duplicate, extrude, scale, extrude in X and scale up. Select these two, and assign rubber. Now the last thing, the steering rod, we will select the circle, duplicate it, move it in Y, move it in X so we can see it. With down we go somewhere here, because we will have Ackermann steering, that means the inside part is more inside than the outside part of the wheel. Extrude in X, move it in Y, scale it down because it's too thick. Again, move to correct position. Again, add a loop cut, duplicate it, extrude, scale, extrude in X and scale. The same on the other end, add a loop cut, extrude, scale, extrude in X, scale. Select all of these, select all of these faces. Select all these, assign carbon fiber, go to object mode, shade smooth, and turn on the subdivision surface. Rename it to front control arms, a front push rod. And now we need to do the same thing in the back. We can use the same control arms, just duplicate it and move it to the back. Go to edit mode, turn on the X-ray, and we will move these to new positions. But as you see, it won't work like that, so let's delete all of these. And we will keep only one loop cut to work with. Turn off the subdivision, delete also all of these edges, and we will work with that. Hide the main body and let's create the cross sections. Let's bridge these edge loops. I will select all of these and move them up a little bit. I can actually move all of these up like this. I can select this and move it more forward as it was intended. Now select both these and extrude inside. Also on this side. Select the whole arm, duplicate, move in Z. Select these two, move them up so they match the body. We will rotate this along Z axis. Move it a little bit down. So here, turn on the X-ray if you can select it and move it a little bit down. Rotate by Z. Okay. These are carbon pieces. And now we will create the rubber pieces. So always duplicate, extrude, scale, extrude in X and scale on all ends. Select all of these rubber pieces and assign in the material. Go back to object mode and shade smooth. There's some weird shading, so we go back, select everything, Shift N to recalculate normals. We need to add new loop cuts here, so it's better. And also on the lower control arm. And now we need a push rod and dry shaft. For that we will add a circle. Go to edit mode, scale it down, rotate by Y by 90 degrees, move it to the side so we can see it, scale it down again, and we will try to measure the middle of the wheel. So we can go to side view and turn on the X-ray. Just like this. And now we will be extruding. Extrude it in X. Scale it up. Extrude in X. Add a loop cut. Extrude again, scale it down, extrude again, scale it down, extrude in X, and fill inset. Now duplicate this by Shift plus D, move it in X, and delete only faces. Now we have here inside one new loop cut. Here. Extrude it in X to other side. Select this. Duplicate in X. Rotate by Z. Move in X to position like this. And what we want to do is shear this. So select all of these. Shift Ctrl Alt S and select the Y axis. Go to side view, rotate it, and now extrude in X direction. This will be our drive shaft, and we will also create the push rod, so duplicate this, move it in Y direction, scale it down with somewhere like this. Duplicate, bridge these two, move it to the lower arm, and extrude it in X. And I will cut to the end. The same on the other side, extrude it inside, move this a little bit out, add a loop cut, select these two, move them in Y, scale it down, select these two, also move them in Y and scale it down, and now create the rubber pieces at the end. Duplicate, extrude, scale, extrude in X, scale, and on the other side as well, select this, duplicate, extrude, scale, extrude in X and scale. Now save your work, go to material, add a new material, and add main material, which will be carbon fiber. Then add a second material, which will be rubber. Select these rubber ends, assign rubber, and another material, which will be steel. Select these. Select this shaft and assign steel. You can go back, shade smooth, generate subdivision surface, and we will add few loop cuts to make this look better. Rename this part to rear. Turn off the reference. And add a mirror to all these new parts. The mirror object again will be the main body. Turn on the simple scene and you can render your work. We are almost done with the modeling part. Next time we will create a simple cockpit, and then we can start texturing our car. Thank you for watching and see you next time.